ahead and start the, let me know when you're ready.
It's ready.
Okay, would you all please rise to the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There is a quorum present. Derek Lorenzen, he is out of town. I have not heard, anybody heard from Michael? Okay, so maybe he'll be along. Public comment?
Yeah, I've got one. And it deals with comments made recently about the county and zoning and airports. I took about 3.5 to 4 hours one morning, researched every county in the state, every county that had zoning in the state, and every county that owned an airport in the state. And there's other things, you know, where counties can have a airport authority, which that means they combine their authority with the airport and cities, and cities can have the zoning, the counties don't have to. But for county airports, like we have, and counties that don't have zoning, we, Edgar County, is the only county that does not have zoning and that has a county-owned airport. There's some that don't have zoning, but those counties have municipal airports. I called every county. I used a database that the FAA had for, and IDOT has for airports located in the state of Illinois. I went through each and every airport. If they said municipal airport, I didn't call them. If they said airport authority, I didn't call them, because neither one of those mattered. The only ones that mattered, according to state law, with zoning required for expansion, is a county airport owned by a county. And we're the only one to fall in that situation, unless you guys know something I don't know.
All I know is Department of Aeronautics told me we were one of 3 or 4.
Well,
That's what they told me.
they
About
might
a
be,
week and a half ago.
yeah, they might be looking at municipal airports.
I'm just telling you what they said.
When you say municipal, what exactly?
It was like, if Paris decided to have their own airport, they could do that, or the Illinois municipal code. Park districts can have an airport. Forest preserves can have an airport. Anybody can have an airport almost, except for maybe schools.
So why is it important to have zoning if you have an airport? I don't see
Simply
the,
because the county code,
well, I understand that,
the
but
law requires
I
it. Now you can
understand, yeah,
petition
but
the
same token.
legislature to get rid of that sentence in the law, which is probably the easiest thing to do, is just ask them to change it.
Well, before that, we'll just wait and see
Yeah,
what
right.
their attorney says.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I was just
Good.
throwing that out there,
We
so,
appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
because I know Mike likes to say there's a whole bunch of them in downstate that fall in the same category, but there isn't. So that was my comment, thanks.
Yeah, thank you, really. Anybody else have a comment? Okay,
I made mine.
all right, we'll move on to committee reports. Do you want to go first, Mr. Patrick?
Well, I guess the probation office is finished.
Saw that thing.
And then I'm gonna have an open house, and I haven't seen the floor since it's been done. When the weather gets nice, you get busy outside, so
They seem to be pleased.
they're happy. And from what I've seen, it really worked out nice. It was a good utilization of space that wasn't being used. Monty got a really nice office in the corner. He had a nice one to begin with,
Yeah.
though, so, no, but it looks like good utilization of space that wasn't used. I think it looks great, so. And I did get one more thing. I got Arnie Johnson contacted me and wants to get with me. He said now that, spring's here, kind of want to just do, start figuring out what we're gonna do on long term on the roof, but, did I ever get a report? I don't know that I got a final report.
We got a somewhat of a report,
All right.
but I don't think it was a final.
Well, I don't know that
I don't know that he was gonna give us one.
Well, he told me he was, and this was attached to that, but I don't ever recall getting this final report from him. But I
Kind
will
of a
get it.
synopsis of
I will-
how, where he thinks
I did
we're
get
at.
the synopsis of it. This is a full written report. I'll get it.
Yeah,
Next meeting, I'll copy them down and get copies and let everybody look at it, but kind of gives an idea. Sometimes if somebody sends something to me on a Thursday or Friday, it gets stuck behind the other 200 that come on top of it, and I don't get to it, so, anyway.
Okay.
Other than that, that's about it.
Andy, have you,
Oh, sorry.
with with Arnie, that reminded me, have we had any luck getting anybody to do those interior things yet? That, you know, that he talked about last year, about the movement, wasn't it his group that said that we needed to have the beams, that type of stuff?
I talked to Mark when Mark was up there doing that. I need to get with him. He talked like he was gonna do that. In other words, support that.
Yeah, you know, those things that, I thought,
The
the Arnie's
rafters,
group that
he-
said like we needed to
Need
do
to- and
this,
Mark-
this, and this, and that.
Mark got up and looked at that, and he was a little concerned that that's pretty soft brick up there, and the fix for that was to drill holes into the existing brick and put a sill up there, epoxy it into the brick, and basically just stabilize it where it is. And Mark said when he got up there, he thought the brick was really soft. There's 4 other sections just
Yeah,
like
but I
that
remember-
one.
but Is Arnie
And
the
they
right
did-
guy though? I mean, that was my,
Yes.
thing I thought it was.
Arnie's the guy who-
Because he sent back that sheet of paper like, okay, you need to do this, and this, and this, and that's what, I
That
didn't know
was
while Mark was up there, if he had a chance to.
He had talked to me about it, he looked at it, and if you notice, the other 3 have been done at some point. And they actually removed bricks, cut bricks, took them out, put the board in and mortared them back in.
Okay, so I had no idea, just, when you said Arnie, it just
And Mark
clicked the bell.
thought that he might want to do something similar to what had been done on the other 3 sides. That's probably before my time even, when that got done, so.
Okay.
I got a question. What about this get-together that we're gonna have with, where are we at on it? With the department heads and elected officials? Huh?
I don't know, I mean, I've sent around stuff,
Yeah.
I don't know when it, you know, I don't know between Mike and Eddie, that's the big thing.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I think
This
that's something we need to do.
This is
like
my
I said
last big
before
week
June.
of
Yeah, I mean,
March
it's gonna
super
be,
dinners and things, so.
I'm,
Yeah,
no, I just
and I
wondered
know-
where we were. I'm not being critical. I just,
Because I talked to Ollie a couple times about that, and we need to get together on that. There's just a lot of
there's
things,
a
a
lot
lot of balls up in the air right now, and need to
Right.
figure out where they're gonna land.
right,
We
but I
need to
think by
keep
having
moving.
our county officials, elected officials and department heads the opportunities kind of say what they need in the future and look at it, I think,
that'll help
I
us
think that-
determine
yes,
decisions. that
I
we
think
need to
so
make.
too. I think we need to.
We
I
need to
think in
press
June
the
it should be
sheriff
before
to
June.
also reach that resolution, so we can pass that resolution for that healthcare issue on prisoners that we're already collecting money on, but we don't have a vehicle to get them out their money. We need to get that done, and we need to press the
Which,
the
I
sheriff
mean,
said
that's-
he was, I mean,
Yeah, we
it's
got
not
lots of
really
stuff,
part of that,
Right.
but it does show our good faith and our intent on getting business taken care of. And we just need to get these little things done and they all add up into a big thing and give people impressions, and we need to make sure we're giving the right impression.
How about the clock? I go by there, it's always 6:30.
Well,
I just wondered.
Not yet.
6:30 someplace.
That's right, yeah.
I
Somebody asked
don't
me the
make
other day.
light, I mean,
Okay.
that's,
The next meeting I'll have something about it, I'll call them.
To me, it's not that.
The company
Well,
that
it is.
did used to do that, I don't know, they used to do that, I guess from a liability standpoint, they quit, but
I can
they
understand
surely
it, yeah.
have other people in the situation,
Mhm.
so
I think I told you, I saw them painting the dome of the courthouse in Terre Haute. Somebody was hanging out on a rope painting that. So maybe, you know, call them, see who did it.
So, well,
Yeah.
if there's somebody out there that's willing to do that, there's a company
I
that
know
does
it
it.
wasn't me.
It wasn't either. No.
Yeah, if we can get someone that actually can
Right.
come out and then have coordinate between them and the company to get the work done.
Because all it does, it's my understanding, all a guy's gotta do is you gotta do a set screw inside. He pulls that out, they put the new gear on, someone shoves it back in, they tighten the set screw and it's fixed, so.
Except that it's,
Yeah.
Except that
Easy
you
for
gotta
the
have the
gear.
guy out there doing that.
Well, and if the set screw is still there and it's still workable, because that was the problem that they had on, when they redid it, when Gary and I were over there that one day, they were having, what was the deal, they could, it was rusted or something was wrong, something wasn't there, this was like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And they were having a problem, because it wasn't, the guts inside was not there like everybody said it was gonna be. So he had to go back and then they had to fabricate a part of that to make that work again. So, I mean, and anytime you have the age that we have up there,
sure.
you're gonna have, it's not very, in my mind, it's not gonna be real easy all the time, you know, it's not like, oh yeah, let's
It's
just do
never
this and
easy.
this.
We're working on old
It's like,
stuff.
yeah, it's like putting in a screen door, it's just, you
When
know.
they stopped making the
Check
parts
with
50
furries,
years
see
ago.
if they know someone.
Okay.
Mr. Bruner,
Animal shelter, I haven't been out for a while. No news is good news, I guess. Haven't heard much. We had the meeting last Wednesday with the health department committee. The heating air conditioning system's almost completed. Should be probably this week or next week, so she's very happy about that. We did talk about, I don't know if you read tear up paper, I think it's Friday or Saturday. We talked about maybe setting up where we could send food home with kids on the weekend. Because, you know, I have a lot of people with free meals.
During the summer, oh, on the weekend.
Yeah, weekend and summer.
And summer.
They call it a backpack or something.
Yeah.
And if you get a chance, the tear up paper, I don't know if you read it or not, Gary, Friday or Saturday had a big article about what to do in Terre Haute. It's like a plastic bag and they put in like some applesauce and cookies or something like that and send it home with the kids that don't really have food. Also, they do it on weekends, so we're going to try to coordinate something with the health department and maybe the churches in the city. Because there's probably a lot of kids that don't have food, and weekends are even in summertime. But this is done in the weekend, also all summer. So we're going to start working on that, which I think is a good idea. So Cindy Belt was the one that mentioned it, and she's very emphatic about starting something.
Is she the one to talk to about that?
Yeah.
Because I know the lady who does it, Terre Haute.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or
Cindy
used to,
Belt.
she
Okay.
retired, but she was the one who started it. and
You
they
might
did
give
that
her
Terre Haute.
the name and
Okay.
phone number and send her.
Christian grade school does it too.
Pardon?
Christian grade school's been doing it for more than a year.
Where?
Christian grade school.
Okay, all
Got a
right.
backpack program.
Yeah, we're a little behind, I think, on that, but I think it's a good idea. So Terra Paper had a real nice article about what they do and how they do it. They get kids that have food to come and actually pack the packs for the kids that don't have the food. So it makes those kids feel good that they're actually doing something. So we're working on it, so
thank you, Dan.
that's about it.
When you said the health department, they have the heating system, they've got it in,
It's almost completed.
is the new boiler working?
No, they haven't shipped over.
All right, okay.
New boiler's in.
Okay.
They cleaned all of the old vents, they put in new controls for all of the, I don't know if you ever seen the way it was made, there's
Yeah.
things that run down the center. All those have been cleaned and the controls have been replaced on it. So-
Okay.
So it should be up and running probably in a week or two. So
Again, we thank you for all your shepherding you've been doing on this.
Probably get paid for it, right?
Yeah. Well, it
Like
has to give
everybody
you a
else.
good feeling to
It
see
does,
something
right.
come to
Yeah.
fruition.
Well, you
and-
can't take pride in certain things.
Sure.
And certain things like the waste thing, I didn't really care about that, so.
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, Andy's,
Well, I know,
everybody does their job.
I know, but it's,
Even though some people in town don't think we do much and overpaid.
Don't listen to them, Dan.
I know.
Come on.
That's my comedies, that's my comics for the morning. No,
thank you, Dan.
you're welcome.
Augie?
Well, I think I'll defer to go after,
All right, that's
if
fine.
that's all right.
Mr. Zuber?
Not a whole lot, I don't think. The one thing that we may want to look at a little bit in the future, when I was at the county meetings in Springfield a couple months ago, IPMG, which is kind of like our, it's, Augie, how would you best describe it? Is that like a cooperative, would you say, of counties? It's the insurance part that runs like our workman's comp and our property and casualty. They also have set up, and we've looked at it before, in the health insurance line. And that may be something that we want to look at to make sure that they bid. I think we've had pretty good success. I'll let you speak to that. I mean, your workability with workman's comp and property and casualty, it's through Diamond Brothers, but IPMG is the one, I think I have the right acronym. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
and that's the, they administer for ICRMT.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there's.
Illinois
there's
County's Risk
4 different
Management
acronyms
Trust.
every place going on, but
Right.
it's like the big, and one of the things is they're looking at getting into the insurance, which is more like the county cooperative, and that's where you get your workman's comp especially, and that was one of the things. So that may be something coming down the line as we get ready in June or July, which will be here very rapidly.
Could I say, make one comment? Don't mind. They had that, the health department, they had a lawsuit, and that company you talked about sent a letter to the health department, and they denied the claim for the person. Something about they had slipped on ice and hurt their wrist, and the person applied to get the insurance, or get everything paid, and that company that you just mentioned denied the claim, so we can understand how they did it, because is that our insurance? They sent it through Bushy, and Bushy sent the letter back to the health department, to Janet.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we couldn't quite understand
It's,
how that
it's all
company-
like 15 acronyms all working
Okay,
together.
I see.
But if she has real questions, to give Bushy a call.
No, not really, she just
That's
accepted
the same.
the letter.
Right, and that's what, that's,
Okay.
it's like Augie was kind of saying, you have this one that administrates for
Mhm.
this company, and we have another group that kind of looks over this to see if this is working right, so.
We couldn't understand it, so, okay, good.
And that's the
Sorry to
first stage,
interrupt you,
no.
but I just-
I mean, I'm not really totally aware of all the total inner workings of every
Okay.
insurance claim whatsoever, but I saw that come through.
Okay,
so,
all right.
yeah. I think later on, I'm like Augie, I may have something later on as we get closer to closed session.
The dog insurance, did you want to mention that?
Yeah,
I mean, the
go
sheriff's,
ahead, 'cause
it's
I-
in the sheriff's hands
Right.
as far as getting disability for the dog
Right.
and or mortality.
And I've tried to
insurance.
share that with everybody. I'm glad you got it. Sorry for laughing, but you know,
No,
I
that's
just kind
fine.
of forget about
I get
that.
laughed at
You know,
regularly.
you know, but
It's all right.
Jeff's talking about it there,
Yeah.
and hopefully you guys have all seen that, is like, you know, we have a new employee kind of, whatever the dog's name is, and whether or not we want to pay. Bushy said, you know, this is something you probably need to look at, because if you're counting on this to work, and then because the insurance company had contacted them saying, you know, it's not uncommon to have disability on your dog, just in case your
Because
dog
it
goes
could be
down for a
shot
limited
or
time,
injured
you know,
or-
whatever else, and
Yeah,
also
that's-
like insurance part to take care of that, you know, what do you do after the fact, so I forget what the fee was, it didn't look
It was not
super,
great.
you know,
It
like
certainly fit
$200
into our
or $300, I
budget,
don't
so-
know, but a lot worse, a lot less than what probably what the dogs were. And so then I talked that back and forth, and I sent it to other people in insurance, and sent it to Jeff and everybody, and I said, hey, basically, from my standpoint, I don't care, I think for that amount, if the sheriff and Mr. Chairman here thinks that it's a good deal, I'm in favor of it. So then I guess, then you looked at it and.
I've talked to Jeff a couple of times about it, and he had some things going on, and once he got those done, he was going to address the issue. And I had gotten back to Bushu, or to Carrie, to let her know a response, and it was in the sheriff's hands.
That's right, I saw
And she
that.
was going to talk to the sheriff, and, because I suggested that that might be a good idea. Okay?
I just found out the vet bill's kind of expensive. We had our cat up at U of I last week for 3 days. The bill was $2,000.
I was gonna say, when you say U of
I
I,
don't have insurance either. Cat. That just I just threw it out.
It's kinda like taking your hamster in, the $2 hamster.
Don't put that in the paper.
Hey, Denise, could you and Gary both put that kind of like headlines right off the bat there?
Mr.
Brother's cat. People question it. Some people love him, some people question
My
him.
wife wouldn't let me do it. I had to shovel that. So he's doing better.
My wife and I were
getting worse, Dan.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Carl, I think most of your stuff needs to go under executive session or closed session, but do you have anything in general?
Mark Rosillo from the dispatchers and credit jailers called and left a message either that he wants to meet either the 23rd, I believe the 29th, or the 30th. to hopefully finish negotiations on their contract.
Great. Okay.
So,
As long as it's in the morning, I got working in the lab 12 days in a row now, so, and most of the time it's in the afternoon and evening, so mornings would be, if you set it up,
normally we meet like 10:30.
you know.
I would prefer the 29th if we could, the earliest possible, because I was gonna get out of town and I won't now. Okay,
That'd be fine with me too.
29.
29th is good. I mean, if it has to be the 30th, Carl, that's
Yeah,
fine.
either one.
Either one. I
Long as it's
prefer
in
the
the morning.
29th though, if that's can work for us.
I'll get back with him today and let you know.
Either, you know, either.
And we
day's
do
fine.
need to get a meeting set up with the other folks too, right? Because we have to modify the, well, we'll talk about that. Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay, I noticed that, I got a copy of the budget in and gave you an updated copy, which has all the bills in through and all the payrolls. I did note that, I think we started the new schedule for the sheriff's deputies on the 11th, is that correct? Does that sound right? Which would have been at the end of this payroll. So we came, however, it was several $1,000s down from the previous week, so, or the previous 2-week period. But we're on track and the budget looks all right, we're still getting income in from the state. The issue that Donna talked to you about where the state was changing their accounts and how we got our money got all straightened out the week that he told us about that, so everything's in the pipeline and we're getting it regularly now, okay? That's all I had, yeah. Did we have something else we were gonna talk about? Augie, you held up.
Oh, I got the unsigned letter.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
unsigned.
Yeah.
the letter from, on the jail,
Yeah.
it was a, did you get that, Carl?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all got it, I got 2 of them, I got one at home and one at the office here. So, is there any comments on that? I just, if that could be a prelude to something else, but,
Well, whoop,
Right.
was it sent from local, Augie?
I think we moved it.
Oh, you know.
well.
There's no way
Well,
around.
as far as I'm
I
concerned,
mean,
if you
like-
don't sign it, it doesn't matter.
Well, and
We
if,
know-
if there's an issue, there's an issue. If there's not, then that's why you have the state come down here.
Right.
We have the attorney general.
I just
and
wanted
all
to
that
make-
stuff.
Okay.
I just wanna make sure
I think
everybody.
the
It's just my
person
opinion.
wrote it had a son that was. That's
Well, that's where you get into
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
I couldn't get names, but I think I'm.
Okay, that's all I
don't
had.
think
Augie?
someone worded that.
No, we finished the election. We're busy doing a lot of the behind the scenes reports and whatnot. And we're still waiting on some outstanding absentee ballots. But those will not affect the outcome of the races. So, but we have to wait 14 days before we can actually,
Certify.
yeah, put it all to bed, so.
And Terry's starting to work on the drainage districts and all that stuff.
Yes.
And we're waiting to get our final multiplier, which was
Yes.
tentatively set at 1. So everything's ahead of schedule, and the work that Terry invested last year and all the things that she did as far as the drainage districts will come to benefit this year. It shouldn't be as difficult on her as it was the previous year, correct, I think?
Right, right. It's not just drainage ditches, it's
Everything.
everything, right.
But the drainage district,
Well, that's usually the trickiest.
yes.
Yes, you're correct.
What was the percent of turnout for,
37%
is
turnout.
that about normal or is that? more than
Well,
normal?
for the primary, we've seen it as low as, well, it's been in the low 20s, but it's also been in the mid 30s. So for the primary, I would say it's running average.
Okay.
What wasn't average was pre-vote, or early voting.
What was significantly above average was the early voting in my office. Yes, that was much higher than we'd ever seen. We went back and looked in, back to '02 even, and that was a very large number.
Have you seen at least a gradual increase in that opportunity since it's been in effect? I mean, is it on a steady progression, or is it just a lot higher this year than what it's been? Or is it still going up?
Well,
Or- I just wonder, because you're offering, I mean, state of Illinois says we're offering it, but it's like, but if more and more people are utilizing it.
yes, I think we're seeing that, but then also with this race where we had federal, state, and local contests, that also brought out people, but yeah, so I would say it's increasing. It's increasing.
Did everything go pretty smooth?
Everything went smooth, yes.
Major problems?
No major issues. No.
It's a pretty amazing process.
Mhm. Yes, it is.
My wife was, needed to be an election judge, so, and it was pretty amazing how the process you go through and how everything is, I mean, they're really precise. Everything's really well set up. Tell Terry that, in your office, that she thought everything was phenomenally organized, and she said there was really not much room for any shenanigans or any errors in the whole process. She was pretty amazed by it, so.
Take that one.
We'll
Jody.
take that. We'll take that.
Anything else, Augie?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to go into closed session. Mr. Zuber, would you please so kind?
Make a motion to go into closed session to discuss employment, compensation, performance of specific employees of public body, negotiations, and also probably, it's like 5 ILCS 120-2, Chapter 10T, Paragraph 42, Part C, Number 6, basically, possibility of setting of a price for sale or lease of property owned by a public body.
Okay, and there will be no action taken, but could I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, I'm sorry, roll call, please.
Voigt,
Yes.
Zuber,
Yes.
Farner,
Yes.
Bruner,
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
It does carry. We'll take a couple-minute break for us old folks.
Thanks for putting my picture on paper. I have a lot of comments on how bad I look.
Okay, we're back in
Okay, we're
open
back
session. Is there anything to come before the meeting, before we adjourn? Okay, I'll take the motion to adjourn, please.
Second.
Who firsted?
Nobody.
Oh,
I'll make the motion.
okay.
Carl
Thought
and
that's what it was. I'll
Mr.
second
Pat,
it.
Andy. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We are adjourned,
I
Joe.
guess I'm not